Balaam's talking donkey, a remarkable story of God's intervention. Today, we journey to the book of Numbers, chapter 22, where an extraordinary event unfolds. A prophet, a donkey, and an angel teach us one of the Bible's most profound lessons about obedience, humility, and God's sovereignty. The story of Balaam and his talking donkey is one of the most extraordinary events in the Bible. It highlights God's sovereignty, his ability to use even the unexpected to accomplish his purposes, and the consequences of disobedience. Balaam was a prophet who had gained a reputation for his ability to bless or curse people effectively. When Balak, the king of Moab, saw the Israelites camped on the plains near his kingdom, he was terrified. The Israelites had already defeated powerful kings, and Balak feared they would do the same to him. In desperation, Balak sent messengers with lavish gifts to Balaam, asking him to curse the Israelites so they would be weakened. At first, Balaam refused, telling the messengers that he could only say what God commanded. However, when Balak sent more prestigious officials with greater rewards, Balaam hesitated. Though God had already told him not to curse Israel, Balaam sought permission again. God allowed Balaam to go, but warned him to speak only what he commanded. Balaam saddled his donkey and set off with the Moabite officials. Unknown to Balaam, God was angry with him for his greed and reluctance to fully obey his instructions. God sent an angel to block Balaam's path as a warning. The donkey saw the angel standing with a drawn sword and veered off the road into a field. Balaam, unaware of the angel's presence, struck the donkey to get it back on the path. As they continued, the angel appeared again in a narrow path between two vineyard walls. The donkey pressed close to the wall to avoid the angel, crushing Balaam's foot. Furious, Balaam struck the donkey again. The angel blocked the path a third time in an even narrower spot, leaving no room to pass. This time the donkey lay down under Balaam. Enraged, Balaam struck the donkey with his staff. Then, in a miraculous moment, God opened the donkey's mouth and it spoke. "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Balaam, blinded by anger, replied without hesitation, "You have made a fool of me. If I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." The donkey responded, "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden, to this day? Have I been in the habit of doing this to you?" Balaam admitted the donkey had never behaved this way before. Then God opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel standing in the road with a drawn sword. Balaam bowed low and fell face down. The angel rebuked Balaam for his actions, saying, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I have come here to oppose you, because your path is a reckless one before me. The donkey saw me and turned away these 3 times. If it had not turned away, I would certainly have killed you by now, but I would have spared it." Humbled and fearful, Balaam confessed his sin and offered to return home. The angel allowed him to continue, but reminded him to speak only what God commanded. When Balaam arrived in Moab, he stood by his promise to God. Despite Balak's insistence, Balaam could not curse Israel. Instead, he blessed them multiple times, declaring God's favor over his chosen people. Balak was furious, but Balaam's words demonstrated that no one could curse whom God had blessed. This story shows how God used an ordinary donkey and a reluctant prophet to reveal his power and protect his people. Lessons we can learn: 1. God sees beyond human intentions. Balaam outwardly claimed to follow God's commands, but his actions revealed a heart swayed by greed and fear of man. God examines our motives and aligns his plans with his perfect will, not our desires. 2. God can use anyone or anything. The talking donkey reminds us that God's power is limitless. He can use the most unlikely means to achieve his purposes, demonstrating his sovereignty and creativity. 3. Obedience to God is non-negotiable. Balaam's hesitation and compromise nearly led to his destruction. Partial obedience is disobedience. We must follow God's instructions wholeheartedly. 4. Spiritual blindness can lead to foolish actions. Balaam failed to see the angel blocking his way, but the donkey recognized the danger. Spiritual blindness can make us miss God's warnings, leading to poor decisions and unnecessary hardships. 5. God protects his people. Despite Balak's efforts, Israel could not be cursed because they were under God's protection. This story assures us that God is faithful to his promises and will shield his people from harm. 6. Humility is key to aligning with God's will. Balaam's encounter with the angel humbled him and reminded him of God's authority. Humility enables us to hear God's voice and adjust our paths when we stray. Thank you for joining us today. If this story inspired you, share it with others and subscribe for more Bible stories that show God's power and love. See you in the next video.